New workshop renovation part 13. Wow. Last time we went into a bit of detail about installing Stefan's and Robin's door, improved our insulation cutting, and finished up the last walls, and then Robin's shop. And with most of the heavy work now done, it's time for, as you can see from where I'm recording, lighting installation in the new workshop. Very important topic for me, since I'm not only working in here, I'm recording video in here. And I have additional requirements. I want it evenly bright everywhere and the same light temperature. So what I'm going to be using are light panels. 21 of them. And I had an interesting idea for mounting them, kind of invisibly. I didn't quite like the way Stefan and Robin did it. They mounted them with a 3D printed clip in each corner, which means 4 well-aligned holes per panel, and you can't really adjust anything afterwards. Since I installed 21 panels, I didn't want to drill that many holes into the ceiling. So here's the design I came up with, and you can safely say it escalated. The idea basically was to have a backing plate behind every panel that houses all the components so they're organized and hidden away. That being the power supply and a little power distribution box. And then to hang the panel from the backing plate, I would have 4 pieces of rope attaching to each corner of the panel, which are adjustable in length, and so I can adjust the height of the panel precisely. And then I thought, why not make this rope attachment a 3D printed winch? Yeah. That's the design. What a stupid idea to make this 21 times, but without executing it, you never know if an idea is stupid, so let's get to work. The material for the OSB panels are actually offcuts from the office ceiling panels. I brought them all into the shop and cut them into roughly oversized squares. So many squares. Then at the CNC router, I only needed to position them roughly. The first pass is the chamfering, which will make sense in a minute, and spotting the holes for the power supply and breakout box. Tool change to cut the outer shape, and the little pockets for the winches. Having the chamfer made first meant there's no tear out when cutting the outer shape, because all the little wood fibers are well supported. Once done, I could hammer off the waste and flush trim everything with this chamfer bit. And now, repeat. In the meantime, the 3D printer was busy printing all the winches. But the final design took a few iterations to work every time and is easy to assemble. When you have to do it almost 100 times, every detail becomes important. Time for assembly. Mounting the winch bodies. Then the breaker box and power supply. "21 times, of course." Now for actually hanging the lights, I'm using a nylon rope with a little 3D printed hook. From the spool I can tie a simple knot. Put a hook in the loop and pull it tight. This way the knot will pull itself tight under tension. And then cut it with an electric lighter. This will seal the ends at the same time. Here again from my point of view in real time. So many hooks. Two screws in the table was a great jig for cutting to equal length. Now you can grab a spool and thread the cord through the little hole. Tie a knot at the end. And it's secure. Throwing them in a box was a fatal mistake, but past me will find out soon. In now go a washer and set screw with grease. Then the pulley and a little bolt where the bolt head is used as the axis on this end. It was going well for a while, but eventually all remaining pulleys tangled up into a big knot, which was great fun to take apart again. Alright, next I need to mark the layout on the ceiling, and for that I made a drawing with all the dimensions. Everything uses this corner as reference, so I set up a crossline laser equal distant to the wall and marked the hole positions with a distance laser. And I had a great setup for some offset from the ceiling. I then only needed to drill one center hole for each panel. And with the oversized hole in the OSB, I had some front to back and rotation adjustability. That's done, now come cable channels for wiring. That was straightforward, as well as the wiring itself. It just took way longer than anticipated. In the non-branching panels, I could use these type of Vago clips. and in the branching ones, the quintuple ones. Now the panels. Now the cables come out the side of the panel, but I need them to go up like this. So I 3D printed a little clip that hooks on here. Cable in here. Done. Unfortunately, the panels don't have an obvious mounting option, so mounting some more of the nylon cord. And these screws are perfect for that. Something in between, so there's still a little bit of slack. That looks good. And then cutting it off. Then up at the ceiling, just hook in the first two, plug in the cord, and hook in the other two. Done. Alright, now all panels are up, except the two with the light switch cable, and that's the last step before turning them on. Since it was already hooked up to the RCD, I couldn't just cut it, but had to splice it open and cut each wire individually. Woohoo! Nice! Bright! Finally! What a difference! Just gotta do it again. Lights on. Yeah! Okay, and with it now nice and bright in here, I can adjust all of the panels to the same height. Right now they are all wonky and at random heights. For that I printed 4 little brackets that I could stick to each panel. Then I set up a laser line high up and could adjust each corner until the laser hit the white. And now everything is nice and neat. But the question now is, was it worth all this effort and would I do it again like this? Yeah, well, I love the way it turned out, how clean it looks and how everything is nice and neatly aligned. But yeah, it was definitely more time consuming than Stefan's and Robin's installation. I think I wouldn't do it again like this. But it was an excellent exercise and experience in terms of designing for mass production and optimize the workflow for machining and save time during assembly. Problem is, I just can't translate that in the video. It was just a nice experience for me. So yeah, now I know all that. But what I also learned is a lighting installation like this is time consuming. Wow! Just the installation of all the parts, so marking the positions, drilling, electrical stuff and wiring and aligning the panels took about 1.5 days. I greatly underestimated how long that would take. Maybe it really takes that long or I'm slow, but I don't know, whatever. Now it's bright.